What's up? Hey,
That was loud, dude.
I know.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us today for another Rolling Over the Hill right here on the Lift Roll channel, and thanks to all of you for being part of the Lift Roll family. Before we get started, let's thank our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals. They are very good at what they do, and that is providing the best in a variety of durable medical equipment and catheters. So if you're in need of a wheelchair, rehab equipment, or catheters, give them a call or check them out on the web. On today's show, we'll be discussing what we want the next generation to know, which is basically the premise of rolling over the
Meaning
hill.
everything we did wrong, you
Yeah,
try not to.
yeah, yeah. And then you'll try to give you some decent advice. I mean, you're going to live your life no matter what, but we'll kind of go through and hash ours out a little bit. So we'll share what we learned throughout the years from lived experiences and our mentors, because I'm going back a lot of years when I considered I actually had a mentor. I have mentors now that are my friends, and you're constantly learning. So, but anyway, make sure to hit that like button and put your question, views, and comments in the chat. And again, hit that like button. But Paul is not feeling well today, so he won't be joining us. So let's say hello to Chad and Bobby. Chad, what's going on?
Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Dismukes, C56 quadriplegic. I've been pushing for 30 years, involved in a diving accident long ago. And yeah, it's been a week for me. I call it the trifecta. I've been dealing with the skin, bowel, and bladder issues, and I'm checking them
Yeah.
off slowly as the week's going on. Still holding on to that bladder issue, but the other two I've seemed to have gotten under control. But yeah, just doing it. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up? Thanks, Chad. What's up, everybody? We got Leah, our housewife in the house. And then kicking it with Rob and Tara. I've been meaning to tell you, and I don't know which one of you are watching. Hopefully, it's Tara, but we love you too, Rob. I do watch your YouTube and catch it every so often. So keep up the good work. Nicole's in the house, my lovely friend Nicole and Sarah. So thank you, and anybody else that's out there in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, like Robert said. I'm Bobby Rohan. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic of so many years, 36, and I was hurt in a bicycle accident. I'm having like just one of those okay weeks. You know, um, I went to a doctor to try to find a physiatrist today, a new one. Mine passed away a few years ago, and it was weird. Like it was almost like I felt today, like telling them about your history, like your nerve pain. And I think you were talking about it, Bob. You
Yeah.
were saying about yours today, and I didn't. I wasn't trying to find a solution or anything. I was just telling them what it is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, well, blah 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 blah. So I don't know. You know, it just felt weird. It was a weird meeting, and I just said, I think I'm just here more for making sure everything's right with skeletal. You know, for all these years, and like, how are my hips and my back? I think that's what I'm really, looking for. So it was kind of a weird situation today. I don't know. Couldn't put my finger on it, but
Is he going to be your new physiatrist?
so the one that I was going to have as my new one, she's about to have a baby, so I had to see like the secondary person.
Yeah.
That made
Yeah.
it even, like, okay, I'm not going to establish anything with you, and so I don't know.
What kind of doctor is that?
Physiatrists, like, they're the ones that would oversee your like
A
SCI needs.
rehab. Yeah.
Uh,
Rehab doctor like.
yeah, and um, they say you should have one if you have a spinal cord, I guess. And they're the ones like would oh, do you need a new wheelchair? I'll write in an order for that. Or how's your cushion, your bathroom, and your supplies? They can help you order that kind of stuff. And then if you have problems like, I have these pains here, they might refer you to a doctor. So I think that's overall what, in this day and age, what they would do for me. I think it's more important when you're first hurt. But I know so many other people, that's all they see is their physiatrist. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
in the chat, you can say if you guys go to one or if you even know.
Yeah, I go to a rehab doc. I didn't.
Yeah, it's a rehab doctor.
I never put a name on it. I guess the
Yeah.
official name, but yeah, I go see a rehab doc and a urologist and
Right. And
a family doctor. But yeah,
see, when you have to see a physiatrist, right? But you still have to go see urologists, or if like I had a heart problem a while ago from COVID, so now I always have to see a cardiologist, and
Yeah.
then for that chronic wound I had, it's another doctor, and then I have a family doctor.
yeah.
You know, so it's like, am I seeing the? I don't know. It was a weird thing today. Like,
And then you have, and then then hopefully you have one in the back pocket. I have a urologist in my back pocket, meaning that he's not tied into my insurance or anything, but I can go and see him. I can call him and go and see him right away. It costs me $150, but I can go and get it done right away versus have to delay it and that kind of thing. So
right, with your UTI right now, did you go do that?
yeah, I just jumped on it early in the morning because I don't want to fuss around with this.
Yeah.
And I've got Cipro in the closet. I'm on Macrobid, and God, I so much want to jump on that Cipro
Well,
now.
I
That
know, and that's where I think,
yeah, but don't do that.
times
Yeah.
try not to just treat
Mm-mm.
yourself and throw yourself antibiotics for a
Well,
few.
'cause then you build up a resistant bacteria, and
Right.
that's where I'm at in my disability. I've had some really ugly ones, and
Well, and I do have a story for if we're of our topic today about that. So, but let's move over to Robert Soto here, Bobo.
My for me, a physiatrist, I've only seen one in my life that I know of. I mean, I don't know nothing about before the rehab docs and stuff, but recently, because I had to go see one just to get an eval or for my new wheelchair. It was all part of the process to get that. So I met him. He wasn't a spinal cord injury physiatrist. He was, something along the other lines, but he recommended one of the doctors at Casa Cleana, and I go, well, I don't think I really have a need for one because my primary doctor, he'll give me any specialists I need or ask for or whatever. I did get finally a urologist in my life within the past year. So I primarily see my primary physician every 3 months. I see him, and then I have a specialist for kidneys that I see every 3 months as well. So I mean, that's really the primary doctor. He's not a spinal cord injury doctor, but he's kind of learned as we went along, and he does know some things about the injury, but he's learned a lot treating me and stuff. So my doctor just is my primary. That's the guy I go see, and he floats me everywhere else I need to go. But yeah, and then in terms of the UTIs and stuff like that, the I had a doctor before this doctor I currently have now, the primary. I wasn't using a catheter. I didn't use a catheter up until like 12 years ago, somewhere around there, 15 years ago. And so that's when I started getting into the catheter thing. And he was against it. He goes, you just open yourself up to infections. And he tried to explain to me, I go, well, if it's going to help me, because at first I didn't want to be catheterized, but once I started using the catheter, um, it was I liked it. I go, well, it's not that bad, and I can go longer throughout the day and all that. So anyway, I got into that. Yeah, it's just I guess whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you need, the relationships you have, because I do have a good relationship with my primary. And like I said, he never says no. If I go, hey, can I see somebody here? And if I hear one of you guys talk about somebody, they'll check it out and see if he's part of the network or however. So it works out pretty good. And I think that's pretty much what we all need. Somewhere a doctor that you feel comfortable with, or that understands kind of what's happening, or is willing to recommend specialists and things like that. So that's a given, I think, for the most part. I know when I was younger, I didn't really go to the doctor that much. I didn't really have a doctor. then finally, midway through, I started saying, well, yeah, I need to see somebody for this and that. Once I started having issues with pressure sores and stuff, I go, shit, I got to get a doctor. So that's where it all started.
It's so funny, like all these specialty doctors. I feel like that's all they're gonna send me to is a specialty doctor, but
Yeah, well,
I know
yeah,
that
exactly.
they get connected more with somebody that they send all their patients to. So I think that's maybe something, but I'm been
Yeah,
hooked up like, they were asking me about my pain and like, well, maybe, you have a slip, or not a slip disc or a bulging disc or, but they're like, but we'd rather you see in-house here and it was a UCI
yeah,
here in Southern California. And so it's just like, yeah, but I'm already established with them. And they're like, yeah, but we don't talk to them. And then it's like a back and so it's just like, do I want to switch? Where it's easier where I'm going because I've been set
yeah,
up where my pain management, if you want to see pain management and get pain meds, you have to go once a month.
yeah,
They won't do like, times three on a refill on
yeah,
meds. So, but luckily I've set it up where I don't have to go in every month. I go in every other month, and the other month I get a phone call because literally it takes 2 seconds. Has your pain changed? No, so it's worse. Okay. Do you want more meds? Is that what? No, I just want. It just works for me. I mean, no, I just know that I have to come in here. If you're asking me, I'm gonna tell you. But no, I'm not seeking. I'm just managing.
Yeah, it's good.
yeah,
Like I did mine all where it's the my labs and everything. It's all on one system, so all these doctors can see it. My primary can see what others are doing and what others have prescribed and what my labs are. So it's all in one network. When I jump out of the network, like I'll go see this urologist, what I do is I have them print out the orders and I go and get it done at the lab that at where my insurance covers. So then it gets put into that system. So when these labs come back, this culture comes back, I can see that culture and decide, well, hey, look, I'll plug a couple of doctors and say, hey, look, what do you think? I'll
Well,
see.
yeah. Now with these portals too, it's so nice
Yeah,
to.
that's what I'm referring to, the portal.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Which is nice. I like that all in one kind of thing. And I have a history. Like there's 10 years of me being on that same portal. So you can look back with the labs. I had some labs drawn a while back and you can see what you can compare them to the labs that were drawn a while back, so they can do a comparative and really get a picture of what's going
Yeah.
on. So it's pretty good.
So,
But
Bobo, you want to start with our topic of the day?
yeah, yeah. What the
You kind of
I
topic.
don't know which I don't know really which direction is going to go, but the thing is because I know we have listeners that some of them have been around a long time in this community, and some are new, or some are at certain crossroads and transitions and things like that. So we thought that we'd share some of our stories, in which we have done all along, but um, just to let you know, and we kind of like wanted to we're going to be passing the torch eventually because I'm 71 years old. I know Bobby's in his early 50s, and
Hey,
Chad, I mean, I spilled the beans there. We're all getting to that point. Um, we got all this information and maybe the do's and don'ts, but ultimately it's up to the individual. I get it. There's Bobby has some information. He was just sharing with us some videos and stuff, and I think that'd be a good kind of kicking off point if you can kind of get that set up, Bobby.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
we'll.
yeah, yeah. So we're kind of thinking of like passing on that torch and of saying, and not that, don't do what I did kind of thing, where now we're in some kind of mess of our bodies because, you know, overusing, like you talk about it, Bob, with your shoulders. Like I should have probably
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, shoulda,
that.
woulda, coulda.
Yeah, those shoulda, woulda, couldas, I guess we can call it. Like, not really, get off my lawn kind of thing, but more about like think about what you're doing in your surroundings, especially with the body that we got. And we'll start off with this video that was texted me last night, and he was asking me like, "Hey, this guy needs to get into uh, uh, people that do skate parks and things like that. Can you help this guy out? And I was like, yeah, but he sent me the video of the guy, and he goes, he lives on a in an apartment building on the second floor, and he doesn't have an elevator. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And before I could say, how does he get up and down, he sent me the video of how he gets down. I still don't know how he gets up. But let's see here. Yeah, here's the video. This is him coming down every day. He's a T12 para, probably incomplete.
Yeah. I love it, man.
I mean, here, one more time. Just like, it was just like, now, can you
And
imagine?
it's just a regular chair, man. That's a regular chair. It's not anything
Right.
specially reinforced.
And that's the first thing. Like, hey, be careful of your chair. But this is him trying to get downstairs without crashing. But I'm just thinking about his body and
man,
the way his legs come off, and he kind of supports himself a little bit. But and he finally makes it. But
yeah.
I
don't want to say don't do that. I don't.
I don't want
to be like the old. I don't want to say be the old man going, "Hey, man, be careful. You're gonna." That's what they used to tell me, and I didn't listen.
Yeah,
don't do that. Can I say it? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah, Chad's on the right. Just don't do it. Period.
Don't do it. That's just trouble. Don't do that. But sometimes you have to stick your finger in the plug, right? You can feel the shock.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. Eventually, like, if you do put it, not to do it again, right? Is that the scenario? But and I think some of us have hard, thick skulls that the message, or our ears are really plugged that we just don't get it through our brain of taking care of our bodies. And one way I think of the younger generation that I could tell them is that get into it the proper way, and here's this. He looks like he's surrounded by maybe friends videotaping it, and in a regular chair, no helmet, no pads, and I think over time it's going to wear on him. And even if he used those other equipment like the helmet, the knee pads, shoulder pads, not shoulder but elbow pads, I think it's still going to affect him. But I think my saying would be, let's just do it properly. Let's get a hold of people that are doing this and how to manage your chair like this. I mean, the other day I saw a video of Wills, and if anybody doesn't know Wills, it's Aaron Fatherham. He's the official skateboard park kid, or now father. He's even a father now. I can't believe it.
He was the original backflip and all that stuff in a chair.
He was the first one to do a backflip in a chair. But he was doing this stunt the other day on video. I don't know how long it could have happened, but they were trying to do a flip where he throws his chair and lands into another chair. He must have landed on that other chair wrong about 15 times. Now he's got the mattress or the where he was landing onto his chair, but the ramp was all padded. So that
they're all air ramps now, the soft land and all that kind of stuff.
And he had the helmet on and everything, but the way he was landing on that seat every time, like on the backrest or missing it, and I know the young man or now, maybe in his upper 20s, but it's just like, he is amazing, Rob.
Did he finally make it?
He finally made it.
Oh, he did.
Was it graceful?
Well, but you know what? The thing is he's that breed of person. He doesn't give up on that, and he's fearless. I mean, he goes for it. And that's the way he gets it dialed in. He just keeps trying and trying. He's got what it takes for things like that. And there's a lot of people out there, and unfortunately, there's people out there that are in our situation now. So it's just like I said, I don't want to talk against it because I think I was kind of that way. When I was younger, I kind of fearless. I didn't really, but I didn't really think ahead either much. I mean, I would just go for it, just do it. I wasn't, I don't know, man. I think um, that's kind of a hard thing because you don't want to see anyone get hurt more than a spinal cord injury, or surviving all that and then something happen, you do something else. But I mean, if you know and understand the consequences, so be it, man.
We wouldn't be driving a van, or we wouldn't be driving a
Yeah,
trailer. We wouldn't
yeah,
be driving
yeah,
anything like that if we were fearful. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
shit.
Now,
So we
I'm not so fearful anymore. I'm cautious. I just gotten
I'm,
older now, and I'm cautious.
yeah. So am I. I
Yeah,
am very
like
cautious.
today she goes, "Where
Risk
are you going?"
management.
She goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "The ramp down this way, out of our way, and then going down is a lot safer than that one over there that
Yeah,
has the
yeah.
bumps and then this crack that I wasn't, that I saw
Well,
earlier that I said, mm, yeah, that's not a good
yeah,
ramp over there for me to take." So I went out of my way and I said, "Just keep walking towards the car. I'll catch
yeah.
you." But
But it
she's
was
like,
it
"Why
was a
are
safe
you
thing to
doing
do.
that?" Yeah, but I'm like, because I want to be cautious.
Yeah, well, the thing too is, I mean, and that's okay too, because like I said, we're older now, and the
Don't
thing is, I there's nothing wrong with going out of your way, but I think that's all a culmination of our past experiences. So, like, I was thinking of a story that I could, talk about today that really encompasses, the whole journey. But I go, there's a lot of them, and when something happens, there's stories where you go, God, it was the worst thing that could happen to me in my life. And I look back now and you just kind of laugh about it. But at the time, it's sheer panic and all that kind of stuff. So, but there's a lot of them like that, and like, adapting to
Name.
whatever comes your way, being in a chair or crutches or whatever, that's a lifelong skill that you learn. It's not just a one time thing. That's throughout your life, you're adapting. That's skill. And so I think with that skill that we've learned, now we're cautious. And that's the back to the evolution of just aging,
I
you
mean, there
yeah.
know?
was a time I was able to jump off a curb.
Yeah.
I
And
have to.
yeah, there was a time like I felt comfortable, like I knew when to lift and then land. I had a perfect chair that I know the chair that is built for me today is not like that. The chair that I used to be able to do it, um, we modified a lot of it on our own. It was an old quickie GPV, and just the way we tricked it out, it was just slanted. It was tippy. And on the bad side about it was I did flip backwards a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
That's,
one time we were in a meeting and I laughed, um, at one of the guys doing a presentation, and my coworker, she goes, "Hey, does he remind you from the teacher in South Park, the one that goes, okay, we're gonna do, mm, and he sounded, and I just started laughing, and I laughed so hard that I had a little spasm and I flipped backwards because that chair was that chair was so tippy, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But I used to be able to go off curbs no matter what. Like I was not scared
yeah.
until I biffed it really bad one night
Yeah,
on
there
a
you go.
on a date. And the next day, I had came home to the voicemail when you're home and you see your blinking light. And I go,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a message."
Uh,
Play. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. I was like, she's breaking up with me on a voicemail. And I was just like, and then from then, I was fearful of
Yeah. It just kind of
of crashing
changed.
again like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd skin my knees and my elbows and my chin. It wasn't fun. And after
Yeah.
that, I don't think I've ever done it again.
Well, what's funny too is on the same kind of note on that, because all my chairs, I've always liked that tippy. I mean, I have the trunk stability and all that, so it really wasn't an issue. But was a couple times where I just, it wasn't thinking straight and fell back a couple times. But it was no big deal because I could get back in my chair. Now I can't. But so the chair I have now, uh, is not as tippy, and it's actually I would like it a little more, but I don't do it because when I put the smart drive on in my chair, I do it sitting down. So I reach over and lean back, and so I have it set up because I don't want the chair to tip while I'm leaning back, put my weight on the, so that I'm cautious. I go, okay, well, yeah, the chair's not exactly how I want it, but it's safe for me. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again,
I do,
it's just
Chad. Like, what is your thing that you could say you wish, like, things that you might have done that you can say, hey, think
I've
about it.
adjusted it I have adjusted it with caution,
Yeah.
for
I would,
caution, for
I would
caution.
say push my manual chair for 27 years, like I did it, and was in it. I was advised early on, you ought to be in a power chair, but I pushed the manual, and I just found identity in that, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
change it. Now my shoulders kill me, and I ride in this soul
power chair.
mobility power base. Um, 70% of the time, and but I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't. I would push because it
Yeah,
gave me identity. I was able to just find myself in this whole journey of being able to get out and be me, and that kind of thing. So, um, yeah, I wouldn't change that. I'm happy I pushed.
yeah.
But
What about you, Bobby? Do you have any problems, issues with your shoulders? Because you've been pushing a long time too, man.
Still no. And I think, like you said, Chad, one day when I do probably at night have the shoulder pains and said, I still don't think I'm going to say, wish I would have done the power chair or
Yeah, no, I get that. I get
early.
that.
I think I've been really, knock on wood that, I've been able to do it. Not gracefully at times. I need a lot more
Yeah,
help.
but you
I'll
do
be
it.
honest with you, to get into my minivan, with that ramp, I
Yeah.
ask for people for help all the time now.
do you have
Yeah.
trouble rolling up in it, Bobby?
What's that?
You have trouble rolling up in it because of the angle? What do you look for? Do you drive around and look for a place that you can put it down that's got right? Yeah,
Oh,
where's
that's
my
Oh,
yeah,
selective parking,
first,
man.
first,
Selective parking.
yeah. First, it's a curb, and then the angle. Like I go to a Sam's Club once in a while. I mean, very rarely, and I go to the back because it's at an angle, and then I park at an angle, taking two spots, so I know I can use the roll down a little bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
and in my driveway, I can get up my ramp on my own when my wife's car isn't there. But if her car is there, then it's like she helps me, and it's just more of the, can I do it? Yes, but I can
Yeah.
tell it takes a lot on these for that short little at a
yeah,
dead stop.
that's a bear for
Well,
many people. That little
yeah,
that little
yeah.
lift.
Well, you know what? I think the thing is, for me, when I was younger in the chair, strength helped me out through a lot of stuff. You're just strong, and all that. Now there's no strength, it's all technique. I watch other people, whether quad, pairs, or whatever. I watch people. So if I can have to adapt my technique, I get ideas. But it's all technique now because I don't have the strength anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my strength. I wish I would have exercised more though, a little bit earlier and stretched. Do you stretch at night, you guys, Bobby? Do you stretch your? I know you stretch your upper body, but do you do your legs? Does somebody pull your legs and stretch your hips and stuff
So
like
in
that?
the morning, what I really do is we get my knees up and we go, the side to side. So we'll
Hmm.
hold it there for 10. So my knees are over here. I'm this way, trying to turn, and we do that half a dozen times. Then she'll take my legs and go up, or my knee, and then kind of bend my knee, but then on my hip flexor. Um,
Uh,
and then take my ankles and just kind of do some circles with the ankles. And then my favorite one is putting my feet on their chest. They'll lift them up onto their chest, and then they just lean right into it. So my
Yeah.
heel cords are going back. That feels the best.
so what do you do? What is that one?
So
What?
they're at the end of my bed. I'm on my bed.
Uh huh.
Lift my feet up, and then they lean into. So my
Okay.
feet are up halfway.
That's
Um,
just it.
one of my gals that helps me, she's like, you just want your feet to be on my boobs, and I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like,
Hey, well, Bobby, do you really do that every morning, or you just do it might once in a while, once a week,
no, no,
or?
no.
But yeah.
It's about four. I have help for 5 times a week, and
What
I
is your? Yeah, can I ask if you don't mind me interrupting? What is your routine? Like she comes in, you're laying in the bed, and what do you do? Have you already cathed, or no? When you've got
I
your
got
super pubic.
yeah, I got the night bag on.
So what is that? If you don't mind just sharing a little bit, what is your routine in the morning? So she
So
comes in and then,
then the
uh-huh.
first thing, it's the little chit
Mhm.
chat, and she'll go change. She'll go grab my day bag that has
Mhm.
been rinsed out the night before by my wife, bless her
Mhm.
soul, and then hook that on, and then we start with the stretches. Uh,
Okay.
so we go back and do that. I mean,
Back in.
and I'm telling you, it's 10 minutes.
Okay, I've
I'm
got to
not
start doing it. I'll do it once a week, maybe, but not really. I've got to start doing it. I always roll over and first thing I'll do, like they'll come in the morning and I'll cath. Sometimes I'll have cath earlier in the night, but most time I'll sit up and cath just right in the bed, with someone assisting me, grabbing my urinal out of the bathroom and then bringing me my
right,
catheter, and I'll cat there, and then after I cat, I'll lay back down and then roll over and check my skin, make sure my skin's all right.
and
Um,
that's what the
but that's
thing.
yeah,
This
that's when I need to start doing a stretch. I'll do it every once in a while, but I won't. But you know what I like when they do stretch me is I'll have them pull my leg. So I'll take my leg and hold the ankle like down on the leg more and just pull resistance on it, not jerk it by any means, but just to kind of stretch that, pull that leg a little bit on each one, and then she'll grab both of them and just pull them and pull her weight on it. Just not yank them, but just to steadily hold tension on it for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, kind of thing, and then stretch me out, kind of like that. But after that, I'll get dressed. I'll have them put my pants on and then shoes on, and then get transferred over into the chair and put my shirt on and yeah, I'll go to the bathroom after that and go brush my teeth and wash my face and do what I do. But yeah, that I do that. But then 3 days within that week, I'll integrate like a shower routine. So they'll bring the shower chair and I'll get
yeah,
over in the shower chair and wheel me to the shower and
mine's
that kind of,
twice. Mine's twice.
yeah. Um,
I mean, it's
what do
um,
you say, Bobby? It's about you're looking can get all that done in about 3 hours, 2.5 hours, like from about two. Yeah.
when I because I don't have to do the bowel care anymore with the
Yeah.
colostomy,
That's
and
right. Yes, yes.
that is something I wish I could convince more people to do. And um,
Hmm.
you know, I I did it in 2018, so 6 years
The
ago.
colonoscopy. You're
Right.
referring to the
So I was at year
Colostomy.
30.
colostomy.
You're 29 into my injury. You're 30. I did the colostomy, and I fought it. I fought it for 5 years. My wife suggested it, and you know, 2 years before I did that, I had lost, a longtime caregiver that was just amazing, and
Yeah.
and then I did have actually a great one too. Nothing wrong with her, but my wife, and we were traveling here and there, and it was just like a pain in the ass to bring all that equipment and all that stuff for bowel care as well. And I don't want my wife to do it. Then I have to find care.
Uh-huh.
So it was just. But now that I got the colostomy, I want to tell people who are younger, especially quads, really give it a hard thing, thought process of doing it. It makes your life so much easier. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I said this on this show or the other Tuesday show, but uh, nobody touches my poop anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody. I
That's a
do
Yeah.
great.
everything on my own,
Uh,
meaning change my bag, peel it off, put it in the disposable doggy bag, that shit bag. But no, I buy one that is actually. I don't use the ones that they come with when you get your colostomy bags. I use another one that is bigger. So when I do peel off, it's easier for me to put it in there. The
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
ones, the opening is just a lot of times I'm like trying to put it in there. It's just like it gets on the side. I'm like, "God dang it." So I found some that are like really big, like a trash can. and it's got two handles, so it's a lot easier for me to handle. Um, but I'm able to do everything on my own, and it's just after 30, 30 some years to do it on your own and not have anybody have to look at your shit anymore.
You're winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why people wouldn't do this more.
Yeah, I do that Paristine, and that thing works out okay. But still, I'm having to. I'm not independent with it by any means. It is a shit show. During its time, having 3 days a week. Um, but it comes out. I mean, it's not like it's not working, and I'm not sitting on the toilet for an
Right.
hour. It works within 30 minutes. So I would, yeah, I would I would recommend that also, just in an interim of giving it a go. But shit, being able to do it independently like you do, Bobby, I totally hear you. Not having to have anybody fuss with your bowels. It's just gotta.
That,
That's for me.
that
That's been the worst thing of this whole
yeah,
deal.
I
Is that,
mean, and I think anybody who after about 5 years of their injury, and then they say, your first couple years, what is it? It's I want to walk again. I want to walk again. I want to walk again. I want to get back as much as I can. After
yeah.
5 years, you're like, I want my bowel and bladder. Damn it.
Yeah.
I want my bowel and
Yeah.
bladder first before I walk. I think that is for everybody. And not to have UTIs like you're going through, Chad. But,
Yeah.
it's just like now that I don't have to have anybody deal with it, now I just want my bladder back. Or, and not even that. I don't want any more nerve pain anymore. So,
Mm-hmm.
but, and somebody, Rob said, you know, um, sorry you had to spend 2.5 years in bed. That sucks. And I imagine it was from maybe a pressure sore too. Had really bad care. Now I'm up every day. I get on the floor, which I'd be curious how you get on the floor if you're able to do that on your own. Weights, bands, and a bunch of other stuff. I do it PT twice a week also, which is great. Not everybody can have that, or you can get it in a short time. But that's another thing. When you say stretching for your legs, but I also then when I get up, I stretch. I first start doing this and this and this and shoulder circles and neck rolls. I got to get my body.
Oh, you got to get it moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got to
'cause
warm
I
it
don't
up a
know
little
if you're
bit.
like me. Or are you like this, Bob? This is me on my first push away from my bed.
Yeah. Tell me about it,
You know,
man.
it's barely moved. And now I have wood flooring, and I have no excuse that I'm still doing that.
After you've sat
Yeah.
there 5 minutes before that, right? Just trying to just trying to get balance.
For me, man, it's that first transfer out of bed into the chair. Just to get your ass onto the cushion or part of it at least, just so you can get yourself set. Because I know for me, it's you know, knock on wood. Right now, my shoulders have been really good. I think it's the weather, the warm weather, makes my arms and my body feel better. I hate doing stuff in the heat now. But anyway, so it's been okay. So I wake up in the morning and I'm not real consistent with it, but sometimes I'll just kind of work the shoulders just to loosen them up a little bit, and I'll get my chest and lay it. I'll spread my legs a little bit and lay my chest on the mattress so I can do like a pancake almost. And so that stretches out my back and my hips, and I mean, so that does a lot. And I've been able to do that for all those years. So I mean, but that's it. I'll do that. But my thing is just the transfer to get my body warmed up. And I do have some carpet in my house, and I have the hardwoods, but then I hit that carpet. I go, man, what a difference! What are they? I don't even know why I still have carpet. But
This is,
at the time when I
yeah,
got it,
this
it
is
didn't bother me.
this is the last room I have carpet in. My whole house, over time we've done one room at a time because we got
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
and this is the last room. And as you can see, like um, I got stains everywhere from the stupid dog in the wintertime.
yeah,
You can't get rid of. But this is the last one I need to do, and this is that industrial carpet, so it's not even that
yeah,
of a carpet. So, and no padding underneath.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, but I
My
got
my bed my bedroom's that way. It's kind of a industrial, but it's still looks pretty good and all that, but no padding because
yeah,
the living room. I've always had padding there, and you can kind of see where I rolled a little bit. But
And this carpet
uh,
now is 22 years old, so it's,
yeah, well, yeah,
but I
exactly. But
so much.
it served its purpose, right?
Oh yeah, but here's the problem.
Yeah,
I got so much crap in here, those
to
big.
move it.
So I'm just thinking like, and I told my wife, she's like, there's no way we would be able to do that. Who's going to help us? And I said, well, let me take a video of the room and go to the place where we get our hardwood floors and just say, this is the room. Look at me. I can't do it. Any suggestions? Because I'm not the first person that's had, you know, health problems, and maybe
Yeah,
I'll just say,
yeah,
here, we'll get this person, and or
Hey, you pay, they'll play.
true,
yeah, exactly.
or we do we put everything on one side of the room, do half the room, and then everything on the other, and then we put it all back.
Yeah, that's what keeps me from doing lots of stuff. I got too much crap that I have to move.
But
I have a garage. Go ahead.
when we talk about advice, sorry, Bob, and I think I went over you.
No, no, that's a
Is think about your environment, your house
yeah,
environment, how to make things easier for yourself. I mean, that is something that I would give advice. Really, don't go over the years of like. I'll give you an example. For I've been to houses of people in chairs, and um, going out their backyard. Patio sliding glass doors have a thump 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 thump, especially nowadays with these double panes. And
yeah,
people come to my house all the time and they're like, where the hell did you get those threshold ramps?
yeah,
They're like, you don't have that? And they're like, no, it's a pain. I don't go out in my backyard because I have to do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to get these threshold ramps. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them at
yeah,
ramps.com. But you can get all these levels of threshold ramps, and they're rubber, and you can move them around.
yeah.
And I
See,
would just say,
I don't.
make your house more environmental.
Yeah, I don't think my house is. I don't think my house is accessible for if you guys came over because I got like 2 3 inch thresholds, like you're saying on the sliders. The front door has a threshold. I don't use my front door. I use the garage door to go into the garage and outside. But that's got a 12-inch drop, so I wheelie down that every day. And then when I come back up, because one guy was doing some work on the house, he goes, "Why don't you just get a ramp?" I go, "Yeah, I know, but I managed to I wheelie down it, and then when I come back, I wheelie up onto the floor into the kitchen and use the threshold to pull myself in. But
I love sorry.
I got to
Yeah,
get a ramp.
I
yeah.
love going over to my friends, my quad friend's house because it's all set up. Their bathroom's
Yeah,
big. It's
yeah,
light. I
well,
can.
yeah.
It's right. I'm like, geez, this is
Well, that's
perfect.
like when I first went to Bobby's house, I was one of those guys who go, "Hey, these ramps are great," because I could do it, but I mean, it's effortless. I mean, it's nice. Because I
Yeah.
remember I was
Especially
one of those guys that said,
food, and
and
like
your
sometimes
driveway.
and like
Y-
sometimes I have steak, and the juices are coming down that
Yeah,
the
yeah,
board,
yeah,
and I just want something smooth to go up and then back down, something real easy, and
yeah. Well,
that's what
it
was
is.
so great. But Chad, you said something to Bob just now. Um, what was it? You just said it too. Uh, it's and more of my comment is, it's funny. It's like, here you got an able-bodied guy going, why don't you just make a ramp and it's
Yeah,
easy? And
exactly.
you're like,
He saw me wheeling down. I know, but
sometimes
it's
when
just
we
like
know,
I bought this house when I in the chair and all that stuff, but I was walking with the crutches. I have a 2-story house. I don't even go upstairs anymore because before as I was getting older, I would stop. I wasn't walking up them as much, but I'd be transferred, scoot them, and then I'd have a chair up there right by the end, and I could transfer up there and kind of kick back there. You know, Sundays hung over watching football. I don't even go upstairs anymore. I can't even transfer from my chair to the step. You know, but I mean, I never even
you don't want to
thought.
do
I
this.
didn't think of yeah, yeah. I didn't think the long term. And these stairs are pretty steep here. It's not like they're. But yeah.
Oh, it's not fair.
But I didn't look. I don't know if I pretty much did that the rest of my whole life for the most part. I just was living what I needed to do, and yeah, I planned. I had some goals and stuff like that. But when I bought the house, I didn't think about not getting older, and not being able to go upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
My
know,
my,
I
my
it,
feelings.
it,
bathrooms. I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. I love your bathrooms.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
You move around
Well,
in there and bath and put my bag, and it's
yeah,
good.
I used to think my driveway was flat and level until now. I'm pushing up that thing. I go, man, I didn't know this thing had a slope to it. I'm pushing, and it's. I mean, I get up it, but it's like I said, it's not that easy of a push. You got to get a little technique, go at an angle a little bit, and then level it out. But I never thought that the driveway had a slope until recent.
No, that's funny.
Oh, shit.
Something else we were talking about earlier that I wanted to bring up when we were talking about antibiotics, and I think this goes, for a lot of people who are watching right now and rewatching later on. With antibiotics, especially for our UTIs, I was in the camp, and I want to tell anybody to first get the proper medication for your UTI. Meaning, I know it's a pain in the ass, but turn in that stupid P cup and get it analyzed and let your doctor make that decision on what you should be in by the results, right?
And request a culture and request the culture with sensitivities. Do
Right.
that. Request the culture with
Yeah,
sensitivities.
yeah,
Tell that doctor.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And finish your antibiotics
yeah.
because this is what I
Don't
did.
take 3 and say, oh, it's already gone away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
don't do
used to take 2 or 3, and then I'm like, get
Yeah,
on, and now I have for the next time, and I don't have to go to the doctors. But what did I do? I can't take all those anymore.
yeah.
yeah,
I'm in the
yeah,
same camp. I'm close to my mom's close to Mexico. I'd go get those big bottles of Cipro and Levaquin. Hell, I just pop those, take for 2 or 3 days until I was right. And then that would be that. But not that doesn't, so those have no power anymore.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
work.
your body
And I,
does
Yeah.
get a tolerance to it, and then
I,
so
I've been lucky. I've been lucky with that because my Cipro still works for me. But the way I have it, my doctor puts in an order at the Lab Quest or whatever it is down the street, and so I can go in there anytime. They have it for 6. I renew it every 6 months. I always have the Cipro,
that's good.
and but the thing is I know myself if it's a UTI or not. I mean, if I see it coming on, maybe a little cloudiness, I don't do anything. I go just drink a little more water or whatever, cranberry or whatever. So then I could see, because then sometimes when you see a little cloudy, and then the next day it's clear. But then I could feel how weird my bladder starts feeling, like I've had to piss all the time.
Uh,
So I don't jump the gun on it, but the first day when I notice that cloudiness and all that stuff, I'll go down to the lab and take a culture to them.
yeah, that's it. Right
And
away. Boom.
yeah, because sometimes you wait and stuff, and by the time you get the results, you needed to start taking your antibiotic 3 days ago. You
Yeah,
know?
get ahead of it. Get ahead of it. Don't fart around with it. And yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
and
Don't
here's
start just taking closet antibiotic, because I think a lot of us have. And I know many guys that are our age that we've done that, and we're
Yeah,
resistant to a lot, and it's not
yeah,
good.
yeah,
and the way and because of my actions I have done, so now I get it. I put in a culture, and I don't go to my urologist anymore for that. I go to my infectious disease doctor
Yeah, I have one too.
because
Same deal.
so what we do is we have a conversation about it first before she's going to put me on something.
Mhm.
So okay, we're 4 days in. What are your symptoms now? Are they the same? Can we get through this without taking our antibiotics? And because I think I did this for a couple of years with her. Knock on wood.
A lot of
I
knocking
I
on wood
don't.
today.
I haven't felt like I had to give somebody or her a urine sample in over 2 years.
Yeah,
I know
I
that
do mine.
if I test, I'll test the UTI.
Yeah, yeah. See,
But
I do mine because I want it documented. If someone starts giving me a hassle for this and that, I go, look, hey man, it's documented.
right,
That's the whole thing. Especially with getting catheters and the way things are going nowadays, who knows how hard it's going to be
yeah,
to, but anyway, yeah, it's just what you set up for your system. But again, the years that we've been at this game, we know our bodies. I've learned my body. I know I know a UTI now. I mean, I had what last year, whatever, when I was having the problems, but I don't even go to the urologist. They I pretty much know what they're going to do for me and all that. And again, the Cipro still works for me. But the thing is my urologist is mostly because my prostate now. I go for the prostate. That's a regular thing, that we keep an eye on it because I do have some issues with it. And
Yeah,
but
that's my next appointment. So I have the order like a couple days before I see him to go to the lab and to get my PSA numbers
yeah,
checked.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
asked him about it, and he goes, "Well, you are 50, and you're still on that younger side." But I'm like, but everybody says check sooner than rather than later.
yeah.
So
How old are
Well,
you, Bobby?
being on
How
top
old are you? How old are
53,
you, Bobby?
53
Oh, we're the same age. Same here.
yeah,
What month were you born?
October. So I'll be 54 soon.
Okay, I was in May, so I got it. You're about.
Oh, you're
I'm half
70.
year
I'm
older.
yeah.
71. You're 72.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I asked the doctor. I asked the doctor about because my prostate and all that stuff. I go, what does all the cathing do and all that? And they haven't really done studies. It goes it affects it. Any manual evac, cathing all the time. It does create issues. So like my PSA, the PSA is supposed to be 4.0, and that's normal. But mine is like mine's kind of fluctuates because, but yet it's not crazy, And so mine that alone just shows, that my benchmark is a whole lot different than that 4.0 because of aging. And like you guys, like 50 something, 20 years from now, it's going to be different.
Hope
So
I make
we
it.
all got to, yeah, we all got to pay attention to, you know, the because it's a mix of disability and it's a mix of aging,
Yeah,
and those.
I was thinking about it a minute ago when somebody brought up about a care. One of the guys in the chat brought up about they did not have the best care.
Yeah,
I think over time too, in the evolution of this disability and our time, just in aging in general, we we've we've got or I've had to really come to terms with surrendering to my care. Me, really allowing someone to give me the care that I really need, as far
yeah,
as my daily care with my getting up and showering and just all of that. Just yeah. In the past, early on, I would just try to get. I didn't want anybody in my face. Get in bed, get up. And
yeah,
not look at myself or stretch like Bobby was talking about earlier and take care of ourselves. And I
Yeah.
mean, hell, if you don't, you get older and this disability can go away. And if you've not started putting those things in place and considered them and you're surrendered to a lot of that, and just realize that, hey, I've got to give time for this, then I think you're doing yourself a disadvantage.
I totally concur. I mean, I was
Yeah.
like that too, and I think we're like that when we're active, young. That it's like if you're needing an aid, it was let's get up, let's get this over with, and get dressed,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be in my chair, and I need to go run my life.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
same at night.
Get back online. Yeah, get
I'm
back on.
done. I want to get to bed. I don't want to chit chat. I don't want to. It's hard enough for even to go take my meds at night. Because I just want to go and get it done with. But now I've totally changed where um, I need to really think about these things more. Take
Yeah,
it slower. Look at my skin. Look at I feel this, and
Yeah. Keep an eye on this or that.
yeah. The
And
skin, man, the skin, and yeah, I still
it's a
do
big
that
deal.
twice a day now, man. In the morning and at night, I get that mirror and check out, make sure.
yeah,
I know I have, because I mean, I check. I don't check all the back of my legs. I check my ass because that's my hot spots there, for me. And yeah, that's a that I can, yeah, that you can't stress enough, man. Just keep an eye on your skin because if you catch it soon enough, it won't get out of control. Or even though you might think you're like I think I overreact sometimes. If I see a little red spot or the skin, little break in the skin, I'm down. I'll give it 7, 10 days. I don't care. I'd rather give up 7 to 10 days than 7 to 10 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if anyone out there smokes. Don't try to
Yeah.
the smoking is not. It's hey, it might. I'll go drink a few beers and would love to have might have a couple. I don't, but love to have a couple puffs on a cigarette or something like this, or this. But you can't do that shit. It's just not. And get on your spirometer. I know that's terrible too. I'm still not using mine, but shit, I've got it at my desk. It's sitting there looking at me every day.
Yeah. Mine's now up on the higher shelf.
Yeah, there you go. Mine gets farther and farther away, but every once in a while I'll pull it back.
Yeah,
You gotta play it.
After we get sick, and going, Ken had a question. He just said, you mentioned that when you get a urine culture, they should do what?
Chad was saying, yeah.
Something else, including Chad. Chad, you want to say it again?
Yes. Have them do a culture and get a sensitivity to it. So the culture basically is what was grown, what bacteria was grown, and then the sensitivity is what antibiotics can eliminate that particular bacteria.
You'll see which ones are resistant, because it'll give you the list of the antibiotics that are resistant and susceptible and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's always good to know.
And then if you're like me, my infectious disease says, nope, can't have that one. Nope, can't.
Yeah.
There's one that really works really well, and it has sulfur.
Because you want to get the one you want to get the one that's going to be the least, the mildest one that will treat that bacteria, because hell, you don't want to use the strongest, because then maybe.
Well, you don't, but also if that's the one that's going to work. But really, it gets down to where I almost have to go IV now sometimes, because the oral ones are, I'm allergic to sulfa, of all things. And you know how many drugs have sulfa in it? A lot.
Can you eat before that, Bobby? Eat something and then take that sulfa? Because I have a sensitive stomach with that sulfa too.
No,
but if I find that
I break out in hives. Like it gets so blotchy, and then it's kind of like when a couple of months ago I went to I was on a trip, came home, and they gave us free nuts at the hotel. Planters nut trail mix with a lot of dry fruit, and I ate that whole bag because I was hungry. I missed lunch, and we got on the lift to roll, just like this. And afterwards, like right at the end, I'm like, what's going on? And I felt really itchy. And by the time we logged off, I go to my wife. I'm like, "Are my lips bigger?" She goes, "Oh my gosh, yeah, why?" And I'm like, "I'm itchy," and I found out that dry fruit has sulfites in it, and I was allergic. And next thing I know, by the time I went to urgent care, they said, "Oh man, you need to go to the emergency room." It's like,
did you go? Did you have to go to emergency room?
It was great because this emergency room was packed. But I get in there and she starts asking me questions, and by that time my throat was closing down. And so my wife is answering for me, and they sweep me right into the back and just get me up on the table and just start working their magic. Benadryl,
epinephrine shot.
Yeah, EpiPen. Well, now I know, just in case. And it wasn't the peanuts. It was the sulfites, because now I still eat peanuts. Thank God it wasn't peanuts, because I love peanuts.
Yeah, really. So one other thing too, since we're talking about stuff, I know we're kind of getting close to time here, but what about all these years about the grieving? Do you guys? I have a note here. Let me see what I put
about the accident.
Okay, just the grief. Yeah, exactly. Because it comes in visit. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we're able-bodied or not, but the grieving part, you got to make space for it in your life, because it's going to be there. It's always going to be there. And so I think for me, because I kind of expect it, no, not, every day, but I do expect it. So I think that's why I get out of that funk. I don't stay in too long in a grief state, because I kind of plan. It's already kind of planned. I expect it. I just don't let it, because you can't let it hang there. You can't let it fester or anything like that. You have to have, um, that's what's going to keep you driving. You're driving your life is how you handle that too. I mean,
I
do you
would say
guys
you have
agree?
to own it. I have to, you
Huh?
have to, I think the fear and sadness and these are primary emotions. You got to own that. I mean, this,
Yeah,
you got, and what you're, uh, grief for your life, really. And
yeah.
what,
You
and,
you have to
the
make
grief for
you have time for it though,
your
right? You
accident.
have to allow yourself that time in your plan or your
Yeah,
goals or
I go
whatever.
on my dog walks. Hell, if I didn't go
Yeah,
on my dog walk every day, if not every other day,
yeah,
yes, that's my time to just breathe and be out there in the air and
I'm
in
a
the,
typical man.
shadows and
I
in the
store.
wind.
I don't know. I store a lot. I store a lot, and
Oh,
I don't call it grieving as much as I call it just pissed off for the day that I dropped about 100 freaking things on the floor, or you know,
uh,
or I'm just
yeah,
uncomfortable and the nerve pain.
breathe. You gotta breathe. You just,
Yeah,
man. I went and tried to cath a minute ago, and the way I cathed it, that damn catheter wouldn't go. It went through 3 damn catheters, couldn't get the damn thing in, and I had a choice there: either get pissed off and just fucking throw the damn urinal, and but just tried to
yeah,
stay patient, and not let it ruin me. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not always
I,
easy.
because
But
yeah,
I can.
I just think it's important to make space in your life for that grieving time.
yeah, for sure, I totally agree with you, Robert. That's a big thing for me. If I didn't, I would be crazy. I really
Yeah,
would go crazy.
I
I
can truly.
just try to
I'm one of those
ground.
who truly say I'm. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it if I had Marty McFly's time machine. No,
yeah.
I wouldn't like be stopping myself, 3 feet ahead and going, yo, 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 yo. Well, this, you don't want to go
Yeah,
any.
no, well, you've already survived a lot now. I mean, look at all the years once
Yeah,
you
Right.
survived. Why would you want to go back and say, "Oh, I could," and I don't want to go through. I mean,
I wouldn't want
I'm
to.
ha-
I wouldn't want to go back and do it again for damn sure.
yeah,
No.
But I do feel this, what Bernard said, when he sees something, someone doing something like, that looks amazing and you really can't try it, or, and he's even talking about the simplest things like, and
yeah,
I feel this too around the house sometimes. I'm just like, you got to be shitting me because I know how to do this. Like, um, change out a socket. We had a socket that went out bad, and my wife was like, "I am not comfortable." I know exactly. I did it as a kid 1,000 times, and so that's where I get pissed about things. Not about my accident. Not even about being a quad. It's just like I wish I know how to do this in my head.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
I hear you on that. My little things that trigger me, but I mean, like I said, I don't stay in that funk. But I'm doing something and I'm kind of just kind of pissed off that I'm having it's taking longer. I go, shit, this would normally take a minute. Here I am, fucking 20 minutes into this thing, and I'm still fumbling with it.
Yeah,
It's things like that, or trying to reach something we can just barely. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it, man.
or you
And
have
you're trying to,
the ones I
yeah.
hate when I
shitty.
have to get gas sometimes, and then
Yeah,
the attendant's not there, and you're like, "Oh, I just need gas,"
yeah, yeah.
like
And
where
there's only
are they?
one person inside, and they won't come out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
Yeah, yeah. You're
finally
honking.
drive, and then
got
finally
to drive to
Well,
another one.
people are staring at you, and you're like,
Yeah,
"No."
these hands. I mean, the shit we can do with these hands, it's amazing. My kangaroo hands, but I mean, geez, I mean, fuck, it
yeah.
takes a little time. But
Well,
I get
I
frustrated.
fix I fixed that for myself. I go to Costco to get gas. I mean, I have to honk, and I hate honking and
Yeah,
stuff
I
because
know.
people. Yeah, but
My
you know what? I
gal
start to know
always
the
goes,
guys, and
yeah. The gal goes honk 3 times. I'm like, yeah, but the
yeah,
guy in front of me pumping, and I'm like this, and
yeah,
he's staring like,
yeah.
the fuck is
Or
he?
you scare them, or the people in front of you they jump because you're honking. But I look for the guy wherever he's at. I keep an eye on him. I scan for his green vest, man, so I can just kind of flag him down, not honk. But yeah, I used to get my own gas. I didn't have to wait on anybody. So then that kind of changed. And so, because I know, Dean, our friend Dean from Mobility Pros, he gets his own gas still. I go, but I fixed that because I just go to a Costco. It's cheaper gas anyway. But yeah, I mean, I hate honking.
Hey,
I just,
Fernandez, we feel you. At least I do. Hey, man, I feel you. I'd love to go mow my grass. I'd love to wash my car. It kills me. It's just like shit. I got to go for I go for a dog walk. Just I know I always say that, but
yeah,
I sit there and look at things, all that needs to be done around my house, the backyard, and all the things that could be done that I keep doing. Fuck, it's like man. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. Of itself, so is what a good friend of mine always says. He says, of itself, so it can't be helped. It's just, hey, it's what it is.
People who are able-bodied that don't have those skills that we're talking about, and sometimes I'm like, damn, I feel sorry for you if you don't have. Like I look at my grandson wanting to teach him all the time, and like one time I'm like, I hand him the screw. I'm like, just screw that in over there, and he's takes the end of the screwdriver, like bangs. I'm like, what are you doing? You said to use this. I'm like, do you know how to like? It was just. I mean, this was. He's 15 now, but this is when he was 10. And at 10, trust me, my dad went out to the garage with me. And granted, his dad passed away early in his age, but I wish I had the garage and the proper way to teach him like my dad did. My dad said, what we got. These are the different hammers. This is the crescent wrench. This is what you do with that. These are keys. This is this. This is a saw blade. This is a sander.
Yeah, I've got two 17-year-olds, and man, that I've got a half torn down little 78 MG in the garage, and it's just sitting there. And it's just the boys, he tore it apart. It's a can of worms, and it won't ever go back together. And it's just one of those things where, my God, I don't go out to the garage because I just don't want to see it, because it's like, fuck, I want to be doing this. And it'll never get put back together. And it's just one of those, and I can't model it for him to be able to show him how to do it. And it just eats you, man, if you let it, it's just like, well,
but there's always a will, there's a way. I figured that out in life. And, if you really look back, there's going to be a way. There's friends. There's a few things now that, I'll help my wife will finally get comfortable, because I'm like, listen, we changed out a whole new doorknob for the front door and lock. She's like, I'll never be able to do this. I'm like, yes, watch. We watched step by step on the video of YouTube. And she's like,
YouTube. Good old YouTube, man.
Because if I tell her too, sometimes I'm like, now you just take this and you screw it in. She's like, what?
Yeah. Are you, Bobby? Are you really that calm when you're explaining it to her to do?
Hell no, he's not.
I plead.
I was over at my friend Jeff's house this last week. His tie light lost a bolt, and I shout out to NSM San Antonio. Those guys, they're about 2 miles from my house. And my buddy Jeff was like, dude, do you think you could swing by there, or would you? And I went in there, and there was a guy, one of the techs. I just rolled in there, and I just out of a chance, and I asked this tech, hey, and I showed him where the bolt was on my tie light. And I said, you happen to have one of those in your toolbox? And yeah, again, shout out to that guy at NSM San Antonio. He fucking gave me that bolt, and I took it over to Jeff's house, and he had his wife down there had his caster pushing it in. That's how I put it out on my social media or somewhere. Thank all your wives and girlfriends. The ones that at least the ones that will still put up with you, because God, you couldn't do it without them. But draw a line if they don't want to do it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't have them do it for you. Because that can turn real quick.
It's getting about that time, and I have to coach this afternoon after we're done here. If anybody wants to join an exercise club, hit me up on Instagram at SEI Quadfather. I just changed my
that's good. It's a good one. That's a good one.
Dude, I saw you on there, and I saw you without your hat. I was like, who the fuck is this? I didn't recognize you for the
Wait,
longest time, man. That one that you had posted, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And it was you, and I was like, "Man, I don't recognize you without that hat." Yeah, I was like, "That's fucking Bobby." I was like, "Oh man."
all gone, baby. All gone. I like the look now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just telling you, hell, I didn't recognize you.
I just like
But
that I don't have to go to. There's always a good thing and a bad thing. I love that I don't have to go to a barbershop or somebody to cut my hair, and then but I hate. I always nick myself in the back, and as soon as it happens, because I use the Bic, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, be careful. Dang it.
Uh, Nick.
And then I'm washing, and it's like, oh, burn, 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 burn.
Oh,
hey, have you ever grown? What does it look like if you grow it out? Have you ever grown it out?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. When I got a couple of years back, when I went through that heart thing, fluid in my heart, I was in the hospital for 6 weeks, and I looked like, I look like a bum. It's no hair on top, and it
You look
just
like
looks,
a mom.
yeah, and it's just because now it just looks, it's just Kobe bitches. I love
I've
it.
got I've got a buddy that he's balding like that too. I always say, "Fuck, Jason." I said, "Girl, just fucking grow it out. Just grow it out and wear it for a year." He's like, he always tells me, "Fuck you." He's like, "I'm not doing it." That's awesome.
And I think that's what I would do if I did have hair, is like do my own, just buzz it. I never mind
Yeah.
that look. If I had to do it, I'd probably just be doing it myself too. But Robert, let's talk about our
Yeah.
before we wrap this up, and
Okay.
we're having too much.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll get going. Keep going. Okay, let's thank our sponsors that help support Live to Roll: mobility professionals and urology professionals. Contact mobility professionals if you are in need of a wheelchair or any other DME equipment. Mobility professionals services the Southern California region, so contact them if you are looking for a company that is part of the community and understands our needs. Their sister company, Urology Professionals, can help you with your catheter needs. They service nationally, so where you're at in the U.S., you can give them a call and see what they can do for you. Urology Professionals.
Absolutely, they have samples too. If you want to try
Yeah.
samples, and they'll even send you samples even if they can't work with you. So give them a call. They'll work with you. All right.
Yeah, good people.
Yeah.
Well, I think overall, in the long run, I think what we learned is, go out, enjoy your life, but make sure that you slow down a little bit and take your time at things.
Yeah.
Um, if something says, take your antibiotics the full 7 days, just take it. If you're abusing your body by jumping off curbs and you know doing the pickup truck that's this high to transfer into it, I don't want to tell you not to get something like that, because I would tell you, when you're young, get it, use it, try it out. Look at my sister.
Sorry.
What advice would you think you would have for me as an SCI? We were roommates for 6 years.
Hi. What would advice?
Hi.
What do you mean? What kind of?
And living and just being safe out there with your body. What's our topic, Robert?
Yeah. Let's see what
Yeah.
we want to pass on to the next generation. What we want them to
With
to know.
with a
SCI.
with an SCI,
Disability.
Yeah.
I would say be open to exploring resources and seeing what's out there. And I know it's scary, but
And change, probably.
and change is hard, but there's so much out there that if you don't have somebody else that's advocating for you, and really you should be advocating for yourself. I know it takes baby steps, it's scary, but there's great supports out there, even under our new under our. Anyway.
No, we don't do that.
Okay. So anyway, but there are really great resources and people like you guys who have so much knowledge and can, just give a
But
little.
and see what, and that's the thing. We want to, kind of we're going to have to be passing the torch eventually, So we want the people that are new injuries now, or transitioning and all that stuff. Somewhere they're going to be taking over the
Yeah.
torch and sharing their truths, and it's just they're going to have the opportunity as the time progresses. They're going to be able to maybe build a community that and just a world that's more inclusive, because that's the big thing right now. I mean, inclusion is coming around, but it's not there, yet.
Yet, yeah, and
Yeah, tap into that. Tap into the resources. That's a great point. And don't be shy to get out there and meet your fellow wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out there and hell,
they're the
we
best,
are what we are. So
best ones, right? Because you got
they
those,
are. We've got the best knowledge, especially as old guys.
yeah. And it might
Yeah.
not fit
And
exactly for that person, but at least they start to hear these things and see, understand. Oh, okay, my
Yeah.
life isn't really. It's not.
and remember, it's okay to be angry, but it's also okay to be happy.
Joy and sorrow, they travel together.
Happy. You got to look at it as, okay, I'm here for a reason still, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
let's enjoy it while we
Yep.
can, right?
Yep.
So
And she was someone who was a rec therapist for 25 years.
well, I was at Northridge for 10, I think, but yeah, but that was the thing. I was always giving resources. May not be interesting now. You may think, well, why would I want that? But just giving them pamphlets, and I would go to the Abilities Expo and just pick
Yeah.
up everything I could and get duplicates, and then I would say, here's this, here's
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
here's this, and hopefully, it's just that first step, and hopefully something else will come up. Okay.
All right, everyone. With that,
Okay.
note, thank you,
Good
Bobby's
seeing you.
sister. We were roommates for a long time, so now I just call her my sister because we've known each other for almost my whole time. 34 years of being a quad, or 35 years. A year after my injury, I met her. So.
Fernandez, so was I, Fernandez, and just because maybe I felt too good for it in a lot of ways, but I think we eventually come to terms with ourselves, number one, and then are able to reach out. And I've got a great group of friends, and I've got a great community that you guys, and I just it's a it's a wonderful thing. Hell, if I couldn't call my friends and listen to them and vice versa, then fuck, I'd be laying in that bed just confused. It's nice to have friends that are fighting the same fight, for sure.
All right, Bernard said it. Bernard said it. Great. Bye, y'all. We got to get going. Thanks for
Take care.
who was in the chat today. All of you that are watching and rewatching this later on. Thank you for all your support. Hopefully you got something out of this today, whatever it may be.
Right on.
Live to
All
roll.
right, you guys.
With
Thanks.
that,
Live to roll.
live to